to New Movie Thing Show, where we watch movies in the theaters, and then we say what we think about them. I'm Meg Turney.
I'm Trisha Hirschberger.
And if you can't go to the movie theater this weekend, you can always go to netflix.com/SourceFed to get a free month of instant streaming, and then you can join us on our other movie show, Movie Club.
Yes, you can. This week we watched Carrie, the new version of Carrie. Since we watched the old version of Carrie for Movie Club last week, you can click here to see that. But this is the new version of Carrie. Quickie review, if you're a big fan of the original, this is an homage to that. It modernizes a little bit, and you might like it.
My quickie review is, I have not seen the original, so I went in totally blind with like a sort of idea, and pretty entertaining. It's definitely worth checking out with your friends, but don't expect anything magical. Carrie tells the story of a girl who's bullied till she can't be bullied no more, and then shit gets cray.
It does. Overall, I thought the writing of the remake was okay. I liked that they explained more, but at the same time, I thought they went too far in their explanation. And I don't want to be too specific because I don't want to give spoilers, but I think that the way that we understood how the other characters felt around Carrie was better explained, and that was awesome. But the way that Carrie specifically felt about things, I feel like it was overtold to us. It was creepier in the original when you're not quite so sure what's going on in Carrie's upstairs.
I felt like I kind of understood what was going on. When you were explaining how they did things in the original, it made a little bit more sense to me, but there was one really big plot hole that bothered me and took me right out of the film, and it's huge, and it's one of those things that you're like, well, the movie could have just been avoided if that thing had happened.
If that thing had happened, and that had to do with the modernization of the script, which I thought it was really cool the way that they incorporated the use of YouTube, and they incorporated the use of, you know, modern smartphones with their video capabilities, etc. That was all very cool, but yes, there was one major plot hole that had to do with the modernization of the script that it
ruins the movie. We're gonna do something a little different that we normally don't do on New Movie Thing Show, which is I just kind of want to tell you guys what that plot hole is that I'm talking about. So spoilsies, but you can click the spoilsies annotation and skip it. There's a part where the girl who's about to pour the blood on Carrie texts the girl who's like trying to be nice and let her boyfriend go with Carrie, and she's like, your girl's not gonna look good for long, and the girl's like, oh no, I'm gonna get in my car
and drive all the way to prom.
Why didn't she just text him?
Because earlier that night, they were texting, so he has his phone on him. We know, because he's like, all's well, she looks beautiful, and I miss you.
And they're texting.
So why doesn't she just text him and be like, yo, what up? Watch out, Tommy, some shit's gonna go down.
Exactly. So this film stars Chloe Grace Moretz, who you will remember from Kick-Ass. She was so good. She's so good in those movies.
She's so pretty.
She's so pretty now.
She's so pretty, and Carrie not allowed to be that pretty.
But they did a great job.
They did do a good job. She got closer to the kind of plain Jane weird face than I thought she was going to. But still, it felt very Rachel Lee Cook in She's All That. Like that girl be pretty. Just shut up. She's pretty. There's no way no boy's asking that girl to the prom. Just saying.
I will never say anything bad about She's All That because it's a flawless movie. And I will say that Chloe did a good job acting-wise, but this one thing bothered me the whole movie, and I'm sorry because it's gonna bother you now when you notice it. Her mouth is open 98% of this movie. Literally, most of her acting is this.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the open mouth. Didn't bug me. Julianne Moore is also in this movie. She plays Carrie's mom, and she definitely has a different take on the character than the original, even though they stuck pretty much exactly to the same storyline as the original, just embellished in certain places. But yeah, I thought Julianne Moore did a great job, although I prefer the original mommy portrayal better, just character choices. But I thought she, as an actor, awesome. The young kids in the high school are also pretty much like newcomers, but I thought they did a good job because I hated and loved some of them more than I thought I would. As you were supposed to. This movie was directed by Kimberly Pierce, who also did Boys Don't Cry. Coming from a film like that, I expected her to maybe insert more of the I am woman, hear me roar into Carrie, which I feel like the story could lend itself to that. But really, it was the original, just with certain character storylines fleshed out a little more.
I didn't feel like there was anything to me that stood out direction-wise. It was like, oh, that was really cool, or it was really bad. But you know what did stand out to me were the effects, because the award for worst effects goes to Chronicles of Riddick this year. But Carrie is #2, because there are times when people people. Like the wire work, they're like swaying weird. It doesn't look like it doesn't look natural at all. I felt like there were a lot of times where I was just like, wow, that is a really poorly executed effect, and it took me right out of the movie.
I wasn't so crazy about all of the effects that they used in the movie. It over-sensationalized it for me, and I felt like Carrie was kind of like a superhero, and I wasn't so into that.
We're not the only ones who reviewed this film. Right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 51% from critics and a 71% from audiences, so not that great.
Yeah, and on IMDb right now, it has a 6.6 out of 10 overall rating. So I think everyone's kind of sitting the fence a little bit like we are. My final thoughts on this film, if you really like the original, this is an homage to that. I don't really know how much more it adds to that, and I feel like it pales a little in comparison. So if you've never seen Carrie, just go get the original off of Netflix. But if you have seen the original already and you love it, then you can go see the new one as a little bit of an homage. I'm gonna give this film overall a 7 out of 10 because I had a good time, but I also really like the original.
I have not seen the original, like I said before, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. It was entertaining enough, but I will never watch it again, so I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. And again, if you're going with a bunch of friends, you'll have a good time. It's a nice kind of like Halloween-y type movie, but you're never gonna see it again.
But just remember, if you do want to see the original, you can always go to netflix.com/SourceFed and get a free month of instant streaming. Hey-o!
Supernatural! Don't forget we have other shows that are going on this weekend. You can click this annotation, check out the new 4 Human Peoples channel, which is pretty awesome, or like and subscribe. It always helps us too. And I'm Meg Turney.
And I'm Trisha Hirschberger, and you're really not going to see it again?
No.